Flamingo Books. Social Studies with Case Study Series 6. Chapter 7. India's Cultural Roots. Introduction. India, that is Bharat, is a land of deep-rooted culture with a common trunk having many branches. This culture is thousands of years old. This great culture has many manifestations in the form of science, religion, literature, art, medicine, the way of governance, martial arts, etc. We can see dozens of schools of thought which flourished in India with passage of time. These involve groups of people who developed particular ideas about human life and had a specific world vision. We call them thinkers or spiritual seekers. The archaeologists are of the view that some of the branches of the cultural roots of India can be traced back to the Harappan or Sindhu-Sarasvati civilization. Some of their features in one form or another continued and developed in the time A.B. Vedas and Vedic culture. Nothing can be conclusively said about when the Vedas were composed, but the experts suppose that these were written between 5000 BCE and 2000 BCE. Two significant developments took place during this time. The first was a change from a semi-nomadic life to a more settled life. The second was the tremendous progress witnessed in social, cultural, political and religious life. The Vedas give us great details of those different aspects of their life. What are the Vedas? Derived from the Sanskrit word, vid, that means, to know. It does not refer to one single literary work, but a huge corpus of literature which came into being in course of many centuries and has been handed down from one generation to another by verbal transmission. The Vedas are supposed to be the earliest available literature of humanity. These are in the forms of prose and poetry in Sanskrit language. These texts were developed in the Sindhu-Sarasvati region between 5th millennium BCE and 2nd millennium BCE. The Veda contains the highest spiritual knowledge as well as knowledge of the world. Thus, apart from philosophy, we find in the Vedas descriptions of various aspects of different subjects such as science, medicine, political science, psychology, agriculture, poetry, art, music. The Vedas are unique in their purity and sanctity. These are the only unadulterated treasure house of true knowledge. The Vedic society. For the Vedic people, family the lowest unit of political and social organization. A number of families formed the village. The lender of the village was the headman or gramini. He used to lead the village men at the time of war and attended the meetings of Salya and Samiti, which refer to a collective gathering or assembly. Many villages formed the Vit. The head of the Vis was called Visapati. Several Vis formed a tribe under a king. We find mentions of Janar, or Dans, tribes, as larger groups of people in the Rig Veda. Some such Janas were the Yadus, the Puras, the Bharatas, the Kurus and the Turvashas. These tribes were having their own regions in the northwestern part of the Indian subcontinent. 1. The Raja, king or ruler. 2. Family. 3. Position of woman. 4. Occupation. Vedic philosophy. The Vedic people worshipped many natural phenomena like sun, earth, sky, wind, rain and fire. Even the processes of birth and death were personified and worshipped as gods. Indra was the god of war, rain and storm. Surya was the sun god, Varuna, the sky god, Vayu, the wind god and Agni, the god of fire. They developed many rituals to pray to these gods for individual or collective benefits and well-being. 1. Brahman and Arman. 2. Maya and illusion. 3. Knowledge and ignorance. 4. Ethics and dharma. 5. Liberation or moksha. The yoga. Yoga is one of the schools of thoughts that emerged from the Veda in the early 2nd millennium BCE. It is widely considered as an immoral cultural outcome of the Indus-Sarasvati civilization, catering to both material and spiritual upliftment of humanity. Yoga focuses on bringing harmony between mind and body. The practice of yoga focuses on the union of individual consciousness with that of the universal consciousness. The aim of yoga is self-realization to overcome all kinds of suffering leading to the state of liberation, moksha. Jainism. Vardhamana, popularly known as Mahavira, is generally regarded as the founder of Jainism in India. According to the Jains, Mahavirna was the 24th and the last Tirthankaru, or saint with divine power of granting salvation to his disciples. As per Jain literature and tradition, Vardhamana was born in 599 BCE at Kandagram near Vaishali, in modern-day Bihar. His father's name was Siddhartha. He was the head of his Kshatriya tribe, Janatrika. Thus, Vardhamana belonged to a highly aristocratic family. He led the life of an ordinary householder up to 30 years of age. He married a princess named Yashoda and was blessed with a daughter, but, at the age of 30, he left his house and became an ascetic. For 12 continuous years, he wandered from place to place in search of true knowledge. He indulged in hard penance and reduced his body to a mere skeleton. His patience and meditation at last bore fruit when at the age of 42, he acquired the highest knowledge. Buddhism. Like Mahavira, Lord Buddha also led a revolt against the evil practices that had become part of the Vedic society. But unlike Mahavira, he followed the middle path, which made his religion more popular among the people not only in India but also in other countries. The founder of Buddhism was a Shakya prince named was Gautam Buddha. Lord Buddha also belonged to a royal family. His father, Suddhodana, was the king of Kapilavastu. Buddha was born in 567 BCE at a place called the Lumbini Garden. It is said that Siddhartha, that was the real name of Buddha, took no interest worldly affairs and spent long hours in meditation. Therefore, his royal father, who wanted to divert his attention to the material joys of the world, arranged his marriage with a beautiful princess, Yashodhara. Siddhartha was then only 19 years old. A son named Rahul was born to them. The Lokayata philosophy. The Lokayata or Charvaka philosophy is an ancient Indian school of materialism and philosophy. It developed during the Hindu Reformation period in the 1st millennium BCE. The term Lokayata literally means philosophy of people. It is an atheistic school of thought that discards the existence of God and the soul, Arman. It holds that physical pleasure is the ultimate reality and the aim of life. It does not believe in life after death. It rejects the notion of an afterworld, karma, moksha, liberation, the authority of the sacred scriptures, the Vedas, and the immortality of the self. The doctrine of Lokayata did not gain much popularity. So, this school of thought disappeared with time. The interaction between folk and tribal traditions. 1. Festivals like Bastar Dussehra in Chhattisgarh, Hornbill Festival in Nagaland and Bagoria Haat in Madhya Pradesh celebrate folk and tribal cultures. 2. In both kinds of societies, the deities' legends and rituals are frequently exchanged. Traditions say that the Lord Jagannatha at Puri in Odisha was a tribal deity. Similarly, Mary deities of tribes are similar to those mentioned in the Ramayana and Mahabharata. Many of the mother goddesses worshipped in folk cultures are taken from the tribal societies. 3. Tribal folklore reflects tribal culture and is influenced by history of the people. It depicts the past life of the tribals and brings them solidarity and continuity. 4. The folk, tribal and Hindu belief systems show many similarities. They all show deep faith in nature and local environments. The tribes have many deities associated with the elements of the nature. The same is the story of Hindu and folk belief systems.